So, whoever shows up to this party dressed up as Batman is gonna get fucked by me today. This is what I tell my best friend Patty as we're getting ready for our superhero-themed Halloween party. Now, this Halloween party happens back in Los Angeles in 2005. At the time, I had not yet come out as queer or trans. And I had just gotten out of a 3-year long-distance monogamous relationship with this boy in Mexico City. So I was ready to make some fantasies be fulfilled this Halloween, especially since that's my favorite holiday of the year. So it was to my surprise that Miguel showed up dressed up as Batman. Now, Miguel's this Latino, tall, dark, and handsome Clark Kent lookalike who I befriended through my best friend Patty. He's this UCLA student who is a business major and is into video games, playing football, sports, and into the whole college rivalry thing. I, on the other hand, was this long-haired black gothic vixen rocking double D breasts into industrial metal music, a film student at USC. So we had very little in common except our physical attraction to each other. So I was a little surprised to see him show up as Batman, but we quickly escaped that party and decided to fight crime in his dorm room and have the best superhero sex one could have. I got my fishnets ripped off, I got done doggy style, and I come to find out that Batman's really boob mad because he can't keep his dick, hands, or mouth off of my breasts. Now, this is just the start of a romantical fuck buddy arrangement that I had with Miguel. I have no intentions to ever really have a relationship with him. But we end up, our sort of fuck buddy situations of being me going over, playing video games with him. We end up catching up about college classes, talking shit about football rivalry, and then having amazing no strings attached sex afterwards. Now, we continue this over the years, and I end up later coming out as bi, and he's okay with it. He suggested a threesome, which I quickly thought, I'm like, no, it's just not really how I roll. But I ended up hooking up with him a couple of times and bonding over the girls we found attractive. Shortly after that, I started to explore my gender a little bit more. My hair got shorter, my clothes became more masculine, and that summer I ended up coming out to a lot of my friends and family and friends as trans. And I unfortunately lost some friendships. My best friend Patty, who's this rocker Latina chick that I first hooked up with and realized I was gay. But unfortunately she has a difficult time accepting my transition. So when I decided to come out as trans to Miguel over instant messenger one day, I expected nothing less. I basically told him, I'm going by Ramses now, my preferred pronoun's male, and I'm getting my boobs cut off in January so I can have a male chest. And I'm taking testosterone. What do you think about that? I was surprised by his response because I had such negative experiences during my transition, and so when he responded with saying, well, twins are going to be missed for sure. I'm going to pour beer down on the floor in their memory, but I support you, Ramses, whatever makes you happy. Now, but fast forward, we end up, a year after I had top surgery, I ended up coming up to San Francisco for Pride. At this point, Miguel had already relocated to the Bay and going to school and work over there. And he finds out that I'm coming up, so we decide to meet up for drinks and catch up. Now, he suggests we go to the Castro to have some drinks. And I'm like, okay, I'm down for that, but no homophobic behavior, please, because I just don't have the energy to bring that into a queer space and deal with that. And he seemed a little offended that I would assume that he would be homophobic in any way, but he tried to lighten the conversation by saying that, well, if anyone hits on me, I'll just tell them that you're my boyfriend. Which I thought was sweet and affirming, and something I totally wasn't expecting, but I ended up meeting him up for drinks, and we ended up bar hopping and having a blast, and we end up at my friend's house, and we end up alone in the living room. My friend ended up disappearing into the other room with his brother. Who knows what they're doing? But we ended up getting into this like deep philosophical conversation about gender and sexuality, because I realized I just sort of laid it on him, like this is who I am, take it or leave it, but never really got into in-depth conversation about what really gender and sexuality meant to me. And as we're on the couch talking about gender and sexuality, I start talking about how the testosterone has impacted my body, how it's changed the way my voice sounds, the way my forehead has gotten thicker, and I start growing hair in places I didn't think I could grow hair, and my sex drive went off the charts. We bonded over that as well. And I ended up telling him how I was, like, the most surprised is the way testosterone has affected my genitalia. Like, my clit, which was non-existent before, has now enlarged to look like a small penis. And he was very curious about this. So I decided to take this opportunity and grab his hand and offer to show him how my changes have come about. He eagerly was excited to discover these changes with me. And so I put his hand down my pants, and he starts trying to rub it like he used to, and I'm like, that's not going to cut it. I'm going to stroke it like if it were a cock. And so I just quickly show him how to maneuver his fingers around my shaft, and he gets into it. Next thing you know, we're making out, and we're just getting hot and heavy, and he ends up starting to kiss me, and he gets to my chest and buttons my shirt, and traces where my double D breast used to be, and traces the scars that are now on my chest. Never once saying anything or any mention about my previous chest, and continues to kiss me down my chest, and discovers this furry trail that has developed that I didn't have before. And next thing you know, he's giving me the best head ever of my life. And things get hot and heavy, and all I want is for him to fuck me really bad right then and there. But unfortunately, there wasn't any condoms around, and I don't have unprotected penetrative sex. So I decided to give him head, and I ended up making him come twice, which I was really proud of. He was the first and only cis guy I had been with since my previous relationship. And as we end up getting down and dirty and having a lot of fun on the couch, we end up collapsing into each other's arms on the couch. And I realized at that moment, wow, I just had my first boy-on-boy experience as a boy with Batman.